Factor Crap here on this beautiful Monday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles had a huge win over the high-flying, powerful New Orleans Saints on Sunday. They finally scored a couple touchdowns. Their defense looked pretty stout, and they pretty much shut down the Saints for nearly 4 quarters. They ultimately won 15-12 in a stunning fashion. Saquon Barkley with 2 touchdowns to go along with that game. But on Saturday, when we had Mark Dion and Huffy on, we kind of spoke about the Eagles. We kind of told them, like, hey, this is kind of a make or break game. And many people are like, no. But I thought it was a make or break game for the Philadelphia Eagles going into this game. So we got to ask this question, guys. Is it fact or is it crap that the win over the New Orleans Saints saved the Philadelphia Eagles season? Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing bad football since midseason of 2023. In the last 7 games, Jalen Hurts has an interception in all 7 of those games. All 7 of those games, he has an interception. The offense has looked terrible. The defense has given up tons of points, right? And there's been a lot of finger pointing, right? When the Eagles lost to the who they play week to the Falcons, Nick Sirianni basically come out and lied and said, "I don't call the plays. Kellen Moore calls the plays." Flash forward a week, Nick Sirianni's like, "No, the blame comes on me. It was actually decent play calling. The defense looked great. Held the Saints to just 12 points. Saquon Barkley had 2 rushing touchdowns." So, guys, is it a factor crap that this win saved the Philadelphia Eagles season? This is 100% fact. This is a factual statement. The Philadelphia Eagles season would have been over if they would have lost to the New Orleans Saints. Now, depending on how they lost, right? If they got blown out, 100%, Nick Sirianni's fired, Kellen Moore's fired, defensive coordinator's fired, clean house, right? If it would have been a close loss, we would have been, but they still would have been bad. Guys, the vibe in Philadelphia is literally night and day right now. Literally night and day. A 15-12 win over the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles are flying high. When I release my power rankings tomorrow morning, they're probably going to break into the top 10. After us basically saying that their season was going to be over if they lost. This is a fact, guys. This is 100% fact. This is a turning point of the Philadelphia season. Confidence is killer in the NFL. Now, they still have some holes to fix. Don't get it twisted. They still have some holes to fix. The whole fake tush push thing, what was that all about? You fake the tush push to give it to Saquon Barkley to go the outside. I think he ended up losing like 3 yards. Very questionable call, but going in the right direction. The big momentum is picking up for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I do think it is a fact. I do think that this was a season-saving win for them. Definitely flipped their season. So, guys, fact or crap? Did the Eagles save their season with the win over the New Orleans Saints? John says, nah. The old line is horrible, and Jalen is playing like shit. 7 interceptions in 7 straight games is not very good. But Jalen Hurts also, John, is taking on a different role. When we think of the Philadelphia Eagles previous of 2024, we don't think as Jalen Hurts as a leader. Leaders are Fletcher Cox, we had Lane Johnson, we have Jason Kelsey. We we have those gritty out players that were the leaders. Jalen Hurts has kind of been forced into this leadership role, and I think that's what happened toward the end of the season. He was being forced into this leadership role. He wasn't there. Week 1, okay, maybe kind of there. Week 2, I'm not ready. Week 3, okay, it is my team. Now, when you when you're having to deal with leadership stuff and off the field stuff, it is hard to focus on the game. Now that leadership stuff for Jalen Hurts is starting to come a little bit easier, be the actual true leader of your NFL team, now I think his play is going to start to improve a little bit. Now I do think that the Eagles team organization is going to start to build that chemistry. Chemistry seems to be the key word of the like of the day, and they're really going to, catapult. Now they do got a tough few games moving forward. They do play the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay, even though they lost that trap game to the Broncos on Sunday. That's going to be a good game. They play the Browns, Giants, and Bengals moving forward. They play four of their next 5 games on the road. Really perfect time for them to really build that chemistry and build together. Pepe's in the chat says, "What up? Let's go Chiefs." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And John says it's still over. They barely make the playoffs. What did the Giants do in 2012? They barely made the playoffs. They had to beat the Patriots week 17 to get into the playoffs. What they do? They run through the playoffs and they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So, as long as a team makes it, as long as you made it, there's still a chance. I think the Eagles are a long way from over right now. Laura says Eagles need to soar, but hey, I like that. They're not as good at the moment. Laura's a Vikings fan, so let's just put that out there. So, no. As long as any NFC team is bad in Laura's eyes, things are good. Pepe says Saquon will need to continue to run the ball well, but the Eagles are a good team. The Eagles have a good core, right? I did not like what Jalen Carter was doing at the end of that game, running his mouth, right? He's going to get a welcome to the NFL moment probably next week, but he was running his mouth a lot towards the Honey Badger and the Saints fans in general. But I as a passive Cowboys fan, I do agree with you, Pepe. I think the Eagles are a good team. I think this is a fact. I think this win saved their season. Casey says, I will say, let's see if they played the same next game or back doing what they're doing to week 1 and week 2. So basically, Casey says, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Just because you beat the Saints one game, the sun shines on a dog's ass at least twice a day. Carson Lang, 2022, when he said that. So Casey says, slow it down. Let's see what they do against the Bucks. Let's see what they do against the Browns. Then we can see if it saved their season. Then we can say, hey, this is the turning point of the season. But if they backtrack to what they did week 2, John says, old line is almost like the Bears. Do not wish that evil on anybody, Ricky Bobby. The Chicago Bears have the worst offensive line ever. When you look at offensive lines and you see bad, the Chicago Bears is definition.